The movie begins with the aristocratic couple, Franklin Wilhern and Jessica Wilhern, on their way to the hospital for the birth of their first child. To their shock, they discover that the Wilhern family curse is real and still in effect. Many years earlier, a Wilhern named Ralph impregnated a servant girl named Clara and planned to marry her. However, when he revealed his intentions to his family, they persuaded him to abandon the idea and marry a woman of his own social status instead. Devastated, Clara took her own life. That night, Clara's mother, who was a town witch, appeared at the Wilhern home to give them a taste of their own medicine. She cast a spell declaring that the next Wilhern daughter would be born with the face of a pig. The curse would remain until she was truly accepted and loved by one of her own kind. For generations, only sons were born into the Wilhern family, leaving the curse untested. But eventually, Jessica and Franklin Wilhern welcomed a baby girl with the face and ears of a pig, whom they named Penelope. Years later, Penelope is kept in isolation while her parents try to find her a wealthy suitor. From another room, they secretly watch as she meets potential matches. One day, a man named Edward Vanderman begs Penelope to marry him, but when she reveals her face, he panics and runs away. Jake, the security guard, chases after him in an attempt to bring him back. Jessica scolds Penelope for revealing her face so quickly. In a flashback, it is revealed that the Wilherns once attempted to correct Penelope's condition with surgery. However, a vital artery running through the nose made the operation impossible, as it could have resulted in the baby's death. From that day on, Jessica shielded her daughter from negative publicity, during which Lemon the news anchor even lost an eye. To protect Penelope further, she faked her daughter's death and cremation, hiding her away from the outside world. Jessica banned Bacon from the house and confined Penelope to their mansion, where she spent her days praying alone in her room. On Penelope's 18th birthday, Jessica hired a home tutor named Wanda to help prepare her daughter to become a suitable bride, hoping that the man destined to break the curse would one day accept Penelope for who she truly was. All the aristocratic men who visited Penelope fled in fear, only to be dragged back to the house, gagged and hidden away. Later, Edward manages to outrun Jake and tries to report the monstrous Penelope to the police. However, the officers laugh at him and refuse to take action against the Wilherns based on such baseless claims. Instead, Edward is locked up overnight. The following morning, his outburst makes the headlines, with the newspaper describing it as a mental breakdown. Desperate to save his reputation as chairman of the Vanderman family board, Edward pleads with the editor to retract the damaging story. As security drags Edward out, Lemon overhears his rants about a pig snout, which connects to the story Lemon had been investigating earlier. He rescues Edward and explains that he lost his right eye because of the Penelope case. Lemon then urges Edward to return and capture a photo of Penelope, but Edward loses his nerve and backs out. Determined, Lemon begins searching for someone else willing to go meet Penelope for a price. Lemon discovers the name of a nearly broke man from a wealthy family, Max Campion, and offers him $5,000 for the job. The next morning, Max is given a jacket fitted with a hidden camera and sent to the Wilhern house, where he finds several other candidates waiting in a room. Meanwhile, Jessica informs Penelope that the suitors are gathered in the observation room. As Max's camera malfunctions, he crouches behind a sofa to fix it. At that very moment, Penelope enters, and upon seeing her face, the other young men panic and flee in terror. Disappointed, Penelope retreats to the kitchen, where she argues with her controlling mother. Jessica begs her to speak with the one remaining man, though Penelope fears he will also run away, just as all the others have for the past 8 years. Eventually, Penelope agrees and speaks to him through a speaker while standing behind a one-way mirror. However, she soon realizes that the man never actually saw her face when she entered the room. Max and Penelope begin to bond during their conversation, particularly over a rare edition of a novel that Max had picked from the library. Before leaving, Max promises to return the following day. Having failed to capture a photo of Penelope, he reassures Lemon to be patient and wait until tomorrow. The next morning, Max returns to meet Penelope, making him wait as she watches him behind the glass. Penelope asks him if he's good at playing something. Guess Max reply her. Penelope guesses that Max plays the guitar, then the drums, as her parents watch all on TV. Max then plays the saxophone, After they play chess, where we get no, Penelope has passion in learning about plants. Max learns that Penelope has never had a beer and promises to take her out to the club for a horse. Still, Penelope doesn't reveal herself to her, making Edward question why Max has taken long to take her photo, yet she revealed herself to him straight away. During the next encounter, Penelope finally concludes that Max is good at playing the piano, making her reveal herself to Max, while helping him to play a guitar chord of B flat right hand. Max trembles and takes back after seeing her face, but doesn't run away, watching her intently in the moment of silence. As Max takes step to navigate her face, the hidden camera takes a snap as he gets ashamed. Penelope runs away from the room, concluding she is not good enough for him. Meeting Lemon, Max demolishes the camera, and the photograph then cautions Lemon and Edward to leave Penelope alone. Jessica says Max talking to Lemon, a news anchor that she faced before, and made him lose his right eye. Max sneaks back inside before they close him out. Reaching inside, Penelope begs Max to marry her such that they can break the curse, but Max says he can't, citing if the curse can't never be broken. Penelope breaks into tears, feeling a rush of 1,000 heartbreaks, knowing with all her heart that Max meant it. That very night, as her parents having a serious argument over her future, Penelope steals her mother's credit card, covers her pig snout with a scarf, and escapes into the city for the first time. Lemon and Edward learn that Penelope has escaped, wandering in the city on her own, experiencing unrestricted night street life alone. She calls her parents from a payphone, assuring them that she is safe, and then books a room at a hotel. Lemon and Edward make a sketch of Penelope and publish it in papers. Back to Franklin and Jessica, they face dilemmas about finding their daughter. They cannot describe her to authorities without mentioning the pig features, and refuses to give a photo of her to the police, which will expose her. The next day, the police helps to track her down the hotel, but she manages to escape from them. Nearly being discovered by her parents, Penelope decides to call Lemon and agrees to sell him her picture. After Lemon gets disappointed not seeing the fungi, which Edward assured him. A picture is published in the media, causing an outrage. Penelope goes to the bar to test a beer. Max learns that Penelope sold her picture willingly, and now on the streets on her own. After having multiple Penelope befriends a delivery girl named Annie, who helps her explore the city, riding on her Vesper, and later she takes her to her apartment. With the help of postcard, Penelope parents track her down walking on streets with a scarf. After a chase of the street, exhausted Penelope faints in front of Annie, who removes her scarf to reveal her pig snout. She finds herself in hospital, surrounded by the media taking her photos, and has no further need to conceal her face. Penelope is allowed to go venture the world with her new friend Annie. She is surprised to be welcomed and treated kindly by the community, as the newspapers now publish positive about her. Edward, however, still sees Penelope as a hideous monster, and angers his prestigious father by expressing his dislike of Penelope to the press. While at the party, Max comforts Penelope, but she gets away from him before he expresses his feelings for her. To redeem high image before the public, Edward expresses her feelings to Penelope and proposes to her, but she still doesn't trust him. At the newspaper office, Lemon overhears that Max Campion was recently arrested for robbery. Shocked, Lemon visits the police station, where he discovers the real Max is a middle-aged, portly man who also played poker at the gambling hall, and the impersonator he mistook as Max was Johnny Martin. At the party, Max comforts Edward about hurting Penelope, but remains hindered by his own guilt for leaving her when she needed him most. Lemon meets Max and reveals to him that he knows his real name's Johnny Martin. Lemons discovers why Johnny could not break Penelope's curse. He is merely a plumber's son, not a blue-blooded aristocrat. Penelope must marry one of her own kind. The day of Penelope and Edward's wedding arrives. Edward is still disgusted by his fiancée, but is assured by his mother that the curse will be broken once the wedding is over. Lemon meets Jessica and shows her Johnny Martin real identity, learning that he has no power to break the curse, but Jessica is still hesitant to tell Penelope.
At the altar, Penelope backs out of the marriage, failing to pronounce her vows, and retreats to her room, with Jessica in hot pursuit. Jessica pleads with Penelope to reconsider and rid herself of the curse, but Penelope replies, "I like myself the way I am." At that moment, a flash of light and a swirl of past childhood memories occurs. Running through her mind, a stunned Penelope finds her pig nose has been replaced by a human one. In the process, by being accepted by one of her own kind, she had broken the curse. Penelope falls out and vanishes of the media circle and is free to live a low-profile life without the pig snout. Jessica blames herself for not doing much to break the curse all this long. Penelope leaves the home and goes to experience life by herself and determined to follow her heart. She then writes a letter to Edward apologizing for running away from him on the wedding. After leaving home, Penelope becomes elementary school hot culture teacher. She decides to reconcile with Johnny. Dressed by wearing a fake pig snout, Penelope goes with Annie to a Halloween party at the theater where Johnny works and rents an apartment. Penelope nervously knocks on his door, under the guise of having to pee. She notices he is packing a suitcase, and he tells her he is leaving town. Still not recognizing her, he sadly tells her that her mask reminds him of someone he used to know. Johnny tells her he once lost some he loved because he couldn't give her what she wanted to be free, remembering that she had guessed his instrument correctly before. Penelope sees a piano in the corner and reveals her identity. Johnny moves closer to her and embraces her and apologizes for being unable to break the curse. With a smile, Penelope removes her mask, showing that she had the power all along. Penelope tells her story to her horticulture class, sit with Johnny, and asks their opinion of the curse. One young student replies insightfully, "It's not the power of the curse, it's the power you give the curse." After sending the class off to collect plant samples in the park, with love, Johnny pushes Penelope on a nearby swing. Lemon sits in a rowboat in the nearby lake, ready to sneak a picture of the new Penelope in romance with Johnny. Seeing her happiness, he thinks better of it and rows away. Thanks for watching.